No. There we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the group. I'm Rachel Arazo, your intuitive divination mentor, and this is the Friday live stream. So, for those of you that have not been here before, we got a few new people into the group this week, so let me explain how this works. Every week, I give you guys a topic that I go ahead and talk to everybody about. And on Fridays, we normally have a live stream that centers around it. Right now, because we're preparing for an entire week of amazing workshops, all the live streams that we've been doing are preparing you for the information I'll be giving there. So, hello, Heidi. Let me pull up comments over here. I hope everyone is doing wonderful. How's your week going, Heidi? Hi, Christina. Let me pull up comments. Happy Friday. Hello. How have you been doing since our session, Heidi? Heidi took advantage of the half-hour power coaching session that I did with her. We made an action plan for her to get on top of her spirituality. And it's been amazing. Ha! There we go. Pull up comments. I know my week has been really good. We went out to Memorial Park here in Colorado Springs and didn't have any sunscreen, so both me and my daughter were all flushed, but she got to go out by the lake, she got to go play with a bunch of other little kids, got to experience sand for the first time, so, and she wore out and she had a real good nap. It was fun. Come on, comments, pop up. Let me know if you can hear and see me okay. It was popping up and telling me I was having connection issues. I cast magic at the computer. Yeah, and now it's blinking over here for me. Let me know if you can hear and see me okay. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, God. We did, yeah. Okay, you can hear and see me just fine. Okay, just making sure. Hi, Alina. I went out and back in. Okay, cool. Hi, Anna. Yes, I hope everyone who is already experiencing the weekend is having an awesome weekend. Yay, Susie's here, scrolling through. Hi, Caitlin. Yay, we have people. Awesome. I'm glad. I'm glad because my monitor, I don't know what's wrong with this thing. It's funky. Awesome. Can see and hear fine. Cool. Yeah, Facebook's funky. Can see you and read your lips. Yay! Yeah, so, hello, Brandy. Yay, we have people coming in so everybody can hear me okay. All right. So, before we get started with everything today, because I want to talk about the long post that I put up about elemental things and with your tools and things like that, but I want to talk about something really important for a second, so I'm going to put on my admin hat because some things have been going down. So, this group so far has been really, really good at being drama-free and everybody being really respectful of each other's spaces, our businesses, everything like that. And I applaud you for that. That's absolutely wonderful. Because the magical community, the spiritual community actually, we can get so nasty with too much of the masculine, too much of the feminine. We can be very, very snippy with each other. And when it comes to our practices, we can believe that our way is the better way. We have that whole thing going on with paying for services versus not paying for services, how some people believe that things should be given away for free. And if whatever your beliefs are, good for you. That's for you. However, in this group, we are here to respect each other and to respect each other's businesses and the way that we conduct things. We are here to respect each other and spiritualities as well. I'm not attacking anybody directly because this has happened with multiple people over a course of a while and I've been turning a blind eye to it, and that's my own fault. My Queen of Cups self has a habit of wanting to nurture everybody that comes in here and be very open and very generous and want to have open discussions with everybody, and that's my fault. I reverse myself sometimes and I get taken advantage of because of that. So I'm going to put my foot down here. When it comes to sharing content in this group, I don't care if you promote your business as long as you give value before you do so. So for example, if you comment on other posts, for example, the Wonder Wednesdays, when you're supposed to give magical tips and tricks, if you comment on that, cool, that's great. Make sure you are posting at least 3 times of value before you pitch anything. If you do, I don't mess with you. You're doing great. I also have a problem if you copy paste the exact same thing in this group and 5 other groups, because it clogs up feeds and then people don't want to talk to you because they can see that you're just fishing for things. Don't do that. And I see a bunch of those all the time because I'm in a million groups, and that doesn't make anybody feel like you're heart-centered and love-centered, and that's the kind of vibe that we want for this group. So make sure you are being genuine with what you're asking, and just don't be that guy. Okay, I don't like putting on the admin hat and putting down my foot for that kind of thing, because I don't like being a bitch. But still, I will if I have to, okay? Also, when it comes to that whole belief on charging versus not charging, we have before in this group had the talk of the excuses of I do not have enough time for things, I do not have enough money for things. All that really means is I do not value that service enough to spend my time and energy and money on it. That's all that means, okay? And if you have a personal thing that you want to work out with a business owner, because in the Thursday Teach thread and on Thursdays, people are allowed to post their long copies, they're allowed to post their services, whatever they're doing in the group. That is the day that it is okay. If you have a particular thing you want to work out with somebody, if you want to ask if they have a payment plan, or if they have any cheaper options, things like that, message them or comment underneath their posts asking if you can message them directly. Please do not send messages to people, guilt-tripping people about their prices. Don't send them to me about that either, because I will not tolerate that mess. And don't diminish what other people are doing. This is a high vibe group. We are a community. We take care of each other. I will be posting my own things. Those of you that have been here for a while know that after we do workshops and challenges, I will be talking to you about the Crone Academy, because that is my job. That is what I do full time. I am a teacher full time, and I do this all the time. So come to expect that. If you don't want to be in a group where we give value and give you free opportunities to work with us and give you discounted things to work with us and then get mad about the paid offers, this isn't the group for you, and I'm sorry to see you go. I'm not going to put up with it, okay? All right? Does anybody have questions about that? Because I want to make sure everybody's good, okay? And those of you also that are super, super new, take a moment to go through the actual feed in the group. We have lots of live videos here. Me and Susie do things for the Moon Sister Circle, which you can get as a silver student of the Academy. I do weekly live streams full of content for you. You have plenty of workshops, challenges, series that are for free in this group, okay? And whatever financial, physical, mental situation you got going on with, you work for you. But do not try to bring down anybody else with your vibe. I'm not going to be happy about it. Okay? And again, this isn't calling anybody specific, because this has happened to a couple of people that have messaged me that I hear of messaging other people in this group, and they're moving outside that boundary, and you may not realize it, but that is energy vampire kind of issue. And in a psychic development kind of group, where we work on those kinds of things and we work on our boundaries, do not intentionally push other people's boundaries like that. Or unintentionally, okay? I invite those of you that feel like your buttons are pushed, don't snip at people and start arguments, but have a calm, mature, collected conversation with people. If you have an honest problem, comment and ask the person, can I message you? Okay? And if you feel like things are a little bit off, shoot me a message and I will hop in, okay? I have been working on a lot of things for this group. I've been doing a lot of things for the website. I'm going to be changing some things up. Next week we have the Summer of Magic event, and I'm working my butt off. So I don't always see everything. So I appreciate it if you would let me know if there's a problem. This group has been drama-free, so let's keep it that way. Does that make sense? I hate getting on I'm gonna get on my mama bear hat. Don't mess with me. Let's see. Hi, Callie. Susie, I took the rest of the day off. Awesome. You deserve it. Amanda, I need to find the long post you just mentioned. It's Monday. I posted it on Monday. It's about the elements. Also, if there's things in this group that you can't find, when I come in here and I go through everything, I try to tag them in topics. So if anytime you search something and you look for a topic, you can go and click things. Mondays we don't normally have anything, so you might have to search a little bit. I'll tag you in it, Amanda. Does the camera keep zooming in on our head and going back out for anyone else? It's not doing that for me, but again, Facebook's being funky. It's still giving me rainbow static up there. So I'm sorry. Try refreshing. Lena, well said. Thank you. Heidi, nope, I'm good. Awesome. Susie, well done. Awesome. Crystal clear. Thank you. Everybody is super, super clear. Christina says, it's one thing to not want to pay for something because it's not valued, and a whole other thing to piggyback on people's posts and tell them they aren't worth the investment. Yes, that is a big one, okay? There is a difference between you having literally not able to pay for the service, or literally not the time. So if you have 5 jobs, if you have some reason that you can't access the content, like I know we have a Cron Academy member that can't access the content right now because they're moving. That's okay, and we don't see them very much in this group anymore because they're so busy and their internet is funky. That is one reason. Okay, then it would not be feasible for them to do anything right now because then it's just money down the drain. That's one thing. But it's another thing to try and diminish the other person's work to make yourself feel better for not investing in it. Again, like, there's videos on it that I've already popped in this group and up on the YouTube channel on I don't have a time is not a reason and I don't have enough money is not a reason. We did the polls on how much money people spend in this group anyway on tarot decks and on washi tape and stuff. Don't do that mess. We know that's not the reason. Don't be that bitch, okay? Whether you're a guy or a girl. Okay. Christina, well said too. Yes, Christina's awesome like that, Lena. Susie says, Rachel is awesome and very patient with all of us. Yeah, I try to be. And again, my whole thing with this community, even when I first started it, was a place for you to come when other people get snippy at you in other groups for asking a question. Or, you know, just some place where you can learn and practice and go live if you need to practice that stuff, things like that. I have no problem with that. I do have a problem when you start taking advantage of that stuff. So even, for example, if you were to post, if you're posting pictures about stuff, and you don't explain, or you just post some text, or you share somebody else doing readings, things like that, and you don't explain it, that's also a problem. Okay? You need to explain why you shared something, explain what it is. If you just want to share, cool, go ahead, but you need to clearly state that. Okay? Let's not debris up the feed with a bunch of things that no one is explaining and then get snippy when people ask for clarification. Okay? Yes, I can tag you too, Heidi. Oh, Kelly, in the groups, if you're an admin, so you can do this for the Coven group, if anybody wants a witchcraft group along with Susie's Witchy School of Wisdom, Kelly also has the Coven group. You go underneath the topic and there will be a little thing that says add a topic here and you can add tags and stuff to it. It's super easy. Amanda says, it was my laptop, but I'm fine on my phone. Okay. Hi, Leticia. Yes, thank you for grabbing that video, Christina. Awesome. So, now that everybody's clear, let's get to the actual topic today. I wanted to talk to everybody about next week. So, along with that admin thing, my hat is off. Next week, also, we won't have our regular daily posts. And the reason being is we have the entire Summer of Magic 2018 event over in the Heart-Centered Spiritual Biz Support Group. Me and Susie are in there, Lisa's in there, Christina is the admin, me and Susie are admins. And it's an entire event. It's 15 different speakers giving a bunch of free workshops with books and sessions. There's a raffle for coaching sessions and for readings. There's all kinds of stuff going on over in that group. So if you have a business and you want to be able to talk to everybody about or learn from other spiritual business entrepreneurs who are all heart-centered and love-centered, please come join us in the other group. It's absolutely amazing. I love it. I'm going to be doing how to meet and effectively work with your elemental guide, which is going to go into what we're talking about today. And we're going to be talking about which deity is calling you using palmistry to find your patron god and goddess. That'll happen on Monday, and the other one will be on Friday. So we're going to prepare you for that. And you can find exactly where to go sign up for that in the events tab. Or if Susie, Christina, if you have a link for that, feel free to pop that in the chat and I'll pin it to the top. But we're going to get you a nice real basis so you understand what's happening all next week. Because the entire event is going to be around fantasy creatures, so there is going to be something on emotional vampires and empaths. There's going to be stuff on dragons. Christina's doing unicorn magic. Susie is walking in the forest with the god and the goddess. There's all kinds of stuff. There's even mermaid stuff. So I'm going to prepare you for that right now so you have a nice chunk basis of information to go into it and you understand everything going on. Yes. Let me pin that. Christina just popped the link. I went ahead and pinned that. If you want to sign up for alerts for that, right there. So all next week, we're not going to have a Monday post. We're not going to have a place on Thursdays for people to share things. Because I'm going to be giving you reminders of, okay, we have 1 hour till this person talks, And it's all going to be into that other group. So if you aren't on the mailing list or if you're having problems joining, you will get that in the group too as a reminder. There will be replays for a week, I believe. And after that, it's up to the presenter. I know I will be taking mine down in the group after a week. So, just to let you know. Let's see. Yes, everybody's excited. I love it so much. And yes, I have a couple of things in the raffle too. Ooh, books. Yes. Yes. Anna says, there are so many things I will take to listen to on that event. Yeah, there's so many different things going to be going on. It's going to be amazing. So, first off, on Monday I talked about the elements and how to try to figure out what your tools mean in terms of elements and your practice. And the reason I say that is because some people are coming from tarot, like I did. So when we think of our wands, we think of fire. When we think of swords, we think of air. Cups, water, pentacles is earth, right? If we come from a tarot perspective. Some people instead believe they will switch wands and swords. For some reasons, for the Harry Potter franchise, how it's mostly air and they use wands to direct energy, so it seems more like air to them, and swords you stab people, so it'd be more fire, you know, things like that. It really depends on the person. So, to get a nice basis for the elements, for those in this group that are not in the academy and didn't do the elemental challenge with me, the weekly challenge with me, I want you to sit down and figure out what the elements each mean to you. What kind of behavior happens with each element? If we think of fire, we think of how quickly things burn. We think of I think of Skyrim and the creatures of fire that you can find in there. I think of dragons, really beastly things. I think of Avatar: The Last Airbender because that's Michelle. I love it so much. And how fire not only can destroy, but it can also nurture and create. And how literally the dragons taught firebending, you know? For anybody who is into martial arts and Asian culture and who loves anime and holistic practices and the elements themselves and people harnessing those elements and chakras, I really recommend Avatar: The Last Airbender. Not the movie, the show. If I think of water, I think of somebody very intuitive and psychic. I think of blues. I think of silks and cashmere and just very dainty and things like that. And the reason why it will matter next week is because both of my workshops will be talking about elements in some way. You know, we have different shapes of our hands that correspond to different elements. There is a fire hand, there's an earth hand, a water hand, there's a metal hand, there's a psychic hand. And it depends on the shape of your hand and the length of your fingers and the texture of your hand as well. And that matters because when we go over how you can find your patron god and goddess with palmistry, it's the shape of your hand will sometimes also determine the kind of deity that will be called to you. You know, if you have a fire hand, you're not going to attract Chang'e, goddess of the moon, because she's watery. You know, you might attract Ho Yi, her husband, because he's an archer and he's all about fire, but you wouldn't necessarily attract her. Does that make sense? Let's see. Thank you for sharing that as well, Susie. Kimberly, hi Kimberly. I think of fire as transformative, as yes, and would pick a phoenix as my primary way to look at its power, yes. You can also think of, not the destruction part of it, but I love that you mentioned transformative, because whenever I think of fire too, I think of a welder. There's a specific German opera I remember watching in elementary school, where it was about Zeus and him locking his daughter up on a mountain, and the only way she was going to be set free is if no man, the one man on the planet that wasn't afraid of Zeus, came to rescue her. And it comes in on this blacksmith and this heavy hammer, and he's just in this deep bass, and he's just slamming that hammer down. And I always think of that. He's fire. He's powerful. But in a still kind of mundane sense, he's brave enough to meld hot iron and create a livelihood for himself. It's just, I love you, Kimberly, for mentioning that. Anna says, I remember how confusing that switching elements was when I stumbled upon it the first time. Yeah, a lot of people get confused. I've seen and heard lots of different versions over the years. Yeah, and that's why it's really important to figure out what it means to you and your perceptions of what each element should be. You know, some people believe that water is much slower than earth. That's okay. And that'll affect how that specific reader determines time when it comes to tarot and runes and palmistry and things like that. It's up to them to figure out how that works for them. And that's why no two readers are the same. We all have our own nice little twist on it. And that's why no practitioner has the same amount of magic or the same amount of understanding of things, because they're all taking it from their own personal experience. Kelly says, a lot of people are coming through General Wiccan the root, yes. Buckland teaches in Big Blue that swords equals fire and wands equals air. Yeah, a lot of people go with Buckland stuff, so if you haven't read, I have the book, it's just buried, The Complete Book of Witchcraft by Raymond Buckland. That is usually where people get their information from, but there's so many different sources on witchcraft, shamanism, druidism, so many different belief systems, Eastern versus Western, all kinds of things, that it's going to depend, again, on what you believe. Hi, Catherine. Yes, it is interesting. Yes. So, it's very fascinating when you sit down to figure out that kind of stuff for yourself. Another thing I want you to think about is the planets. Now, even if you're not big into astrology, the reason why I say the planets need to be considered is especially when it comes to deity work. When it comes to your personal practice, if you stick with just 2 books that you've read, your practice is going to be so much more limited than if you research and study different venues and different paths. I like to think of the first for those who don't know, I grew up a Jehovah's Witness. And if you aren't familiar with that branch of Christianity, it's very closed sect. It's very, very strict. It determined how I spent my Sunday, Monday, Thursday, and sometimes even Saturdays, because we'd go out in field service. They're like the Mormons where they knock on the door and give you a watchtower pamphlet, things like that. You dressed a certain way, you acted a certain way, and they recycle the same talks over and over and over again. And the first thing I remember learning about was actually in middle school, like down the road. I'm in my birth town, like down the road at Carmel Middle School. We learned about Buddhism, but in the history kind of sense. We learned about Siddhartha Gautama, and we watched on the History Channel the documentary of Siddhartha Gautama, and I remember watching it and just going, oh my God, I adore this so very much. I love it. It's its own thing. It's its own pace. And I remember watching even the documentary about Tina Turner and Ike Turner, and how when she went to Buddhism, finally she found this inner power in herself and she stood up for herself. That's why the next time she saw Ike, she beat the hell out of him. And it was wonderful. I loved it so much. And anytime after that, I saw anything Eastern, like Hinduism. I love Hinduism. Taoism, which is why, again, Chang'e, goddess of the moon, is one of my goddesses. And Buddhism, just all of those just resonated so much with me. And when I discovered what resonated with me, I wanted to take it a step further and figure out why does it resonate so much with me. So years later, after being for so long on anti-religion anything, I went back and I sat down and I studied Christianity and Catholicism. And I sat down and I studied why I didn't exactly like being a Jehovah's Witness. I sat down and looked at Scientology, another very strict religion that's written by a sci-fi author from the 70s. And I discovered why I don't like that. And then I sat down with Taoism and Buddhism and figured out why I did like those. And I read so many texts. And the reason why it even frickin' matters is because it expands myself. And in expanding myself, I expand my knowledge and I expand my spell work and my tarot readings. And you'll notice in a lot of my workshops and my challenges, I talk a lot of theater because I'm a theater major, I'm a director. Actually, after the workshops next week, I'm going to be teaching live acting workshops for a couple of dance studios here. So it's acting and characterization are a big part of me. So that's how I approach tarot. It's like a movie for me. And same thing with music. That's why the musical challenge was so fun for me, because I was able to... I know how to conduct and compose music. Because I'm in musical theater, I'm operatically trained. So my experiences and things that I have studied have transferred into my stuff. And into my practice and how I read tarot and read any other kind of divination. And when it comes to the deities, because I've learned so much mythos, palmistry became really, really easy for me. And then looking at the characters on tarot cards became very easy for me too, which is why justice is so much like Athena for me. It's just Athena, the Greek goddess of wisdom. I've read so many plays where she shows up and Deus Ex Machinas things. I've read so many mythos where she's just there and she usually sides with man or whatever side that Zeus would go, because she's straight from Zeus's forehead. When you understand these background things, or you at least read them and you contemplate them a little bit, it helps learning anything else. It helps expand things. Now, the deities are going to be brought up in my palmistry workshop because there are deities on your hands. Each of the fingers and here and all the different parts of your hand are named after deities. And that's because Greek and Roman philosophers created palmistry. They created that study. And it wasn't even a sign of divination at first. It was for philosophy and how the world worked. They looked at your hands. And then it transferred into divination and things. So we're going to be going over that. So if you get some kind of understanding of at least reading Greek mythos, go watch Hercules. It gives a very very bad way to understand a thing, but it's for little kids, so they kind of understand it. They kind of explain it. Go watch Hercules, the TV show. That gives a lot more monsters and a lot more gods that are dealt with and things like that in the trials of Hercules. Yeah, go watch it. Get some kind of culture in you and understand those things. And same thing with the Egyptians and all the gods. If you have a nice understanding of it, the workshop for palmistry is going to go so much better for you. It's going to help flow so much more. And then when it comes to that also, it helps you understand the symbols better. Like, it drives me up the wall. Like, it drives me nuts. Because I love Egyptian mythology so much. And I studied it for costuming classes. I've studied it for... I've created plays based off of Egyptian mythology and incorporating the gods into things. I have a version of Dracula where he's a warrior for Sekhmet. And I love it so much. And when you learn these mythos, then the tarot symbols become so much easier. Because it drives me up the wall when sometimes in groups, people will ask a question. For example, if you study the Waite-Smith, the Rider-Waite-Smith version of tarot, where the emperor is holding an ankh, people are like, it's a scepter, and it's a staff, and I'm like, it's an ankh. If you pay attention to your Egyptian mythos, it's an ankh, just with a really, really long thing. It shows he's royal. He's the emperor. Of course he's going to. The pharaohs had ankhs with them. He's the pharaoh of this land. That kind of thing. So, pick up a book, read a little bit. Do that before next week. It will go so much better. I've been ignoring chat. Let me take a look. Anna says, I'll happily write down how I learned from beginning with elements and directions and compared with what I work with today. Awesome! Do that! Amanda says, I'm a book hoarder. Scroll down. Spiritual and other. Yeah, you're gonna get more book recommendations from me next week. A couple of them are sitting right here. Lena says, Jehovah's Witnesses are at my door at least once a week. Yeah, they're very persistent, which is why I also didn't care for that. Amanda says, funny since you're talking about this since I watched Module 3 last night. Yeah, Module 3 in the Academy for the Psychic course goes over spiritual beliefs and things. So you're prepared. You're totally prepared because that's a giant module. So you're totally prepared, Amanda. Catherine, it's fun. Good for you. Kimberly says, they mostly got the personalities right. Yeah, Disney mostly got the personalities right, except for Hades. Leave my Hades alone. He's so nice. He just doesn't want to be messed with, and he volunteered for the job. It's different. Amanda, I was so addicted to Hercules TV show and Xena. Yeah, I didn't watch them until my husband moved in with me because I had never seen it. I wasn't allowed near any of that mess growing up, so it's nice having that refresher and going, ooh, that's very interesting. Because seeing this as my first deck ever was the Mythic Tarot based on Greek mythology. Yeah! So you're on top of it. Caitlin, I love Egyptian mythology and Celtic. Good! Like, discover what you love, and it'll really, really help everything just flow so much better for you. Lena says, I love mythology. All of them so interesting and funnily enough often related. Yes, they all are. And that's another thing, is just like all the different parts of your hand are connected, just like all the spirits within our world and in the physical world and the ethereal realm are connected, it's the same thing with mythos. And if we don't learn from mythos and read folk tales and epics like Beowulf and things like that, then we don't get a proper understanding of how information was transferred back then. One of my favorite decks, don't fall, okay, is the Halloween Oracle. And the reason why I love it so much is because it gives a nice history of Dia de los Muertos across all cultures. So you keep seeing the sugar skulls everywhere, but also they mention Samhain and their practices. They talk about vampires and werewolves across different things. They talk about zombies across different things. So this is my mediumship deck. This is when my Halloween stuff goes out and you want a Halloween reading, that's what I use. But And you can even get some of this stuff from different decks that you already own. This is why I say so much for you to read the author's notes, because a lot of the times they'll give history like that. The author's notes for the Witch's Tarot, my first bought deck, associates everything with gods and goddesses. And that's how come for people joining the new mailing list and for people who do the Fool's Intuitive Journey, I give you the seasons and the gods and the colors and things that are associated with that major, because it makes sense and it compares it to how other decks are portrayed that way, you know? Let's see. Heidi says, Mythic is based on Greek mythos. Must find. Yes, yes. Look it up. There are so many decks that are based on actual mythology. It's ridiculous. It's amazing. Amanda says, me and my brother loved when our mom would read books with Greek mythology when we were perhaps 8 to 11. So I've kept that up and read both Norse and Greek to my daughter. We talk Celtic too. Ah! And they do help you to get more well-rounded, Heidi. That's very true. So, and how it works with the planets. The way I learned astrology was all of the planets are named after the Greek gods with the Roman names, because that's really what the Romans did. They invaded Greece and they said, we don't like the names, but we like all the stories, so we're going to rename them. So if you really want to get an understanding for astrology, that they're all just the gods, just different names. Like Jupiter is Zeus, and you have a Jupiter finger. So you have a Zeus finger. Okay? You have Mars, and you have Mercury and Saturn, and true, some of them, like Apollo isn't on there, but Neptune, that's Poseidon. So what kind of planet would Poseidon be? Really vindictive, okay? But he would also be all about dreams and watery things and illusions and things like that. And that's really going to help you next week for all the stuff. Because if anybody mentions astrology in the Summer of Magic 2018 event, then you'll understand if you know a little bit of Greek mythos, or at least the names, and maybe a story or two about how they came about, or how they interacted. You're going to be prepared. And same thing with different cultures and how their creatures interact. So because the entire event is based around fantasy creatures, we have mermaids, and I'm going to be talking about mermaids and undines in my spirit guide one, because as there are elements, there are elemental guides and creatures within those realms that are spirit guides, but they're based off of our elements. I'll be talking about it. Kai's going to be talking about the Shadow of the Mermaid. Lisa's going to be talking about dragons. So look at the mythos behind mermaids and sirens across different mythologies. The Greek version of a mermaid is totally different than the Eastern one. Just like the Greek version of a phoenix is completely different than an Eastern one. And dragons too. They all interact differently. So the more you know, the easier it's going to be for you to understand the workshops that are coming up. Bring yourself up on some books and things. So some things that you can do to prepare yourself. I mentioned last week the Wood Nymph Seek Centaur Mythological Dating Guide. That one's fun. Go ahead and grab that book if you want a nice depiction of how everyday people could be mythological creatures. Like, I'm a dryad and my husband's a werewolf, which I'll believe because he's a Gemini and he's ridiculous. Another thing, palm reading for beginners by Richard Webster, if you really want to get on top of the stuff that I'll be teaching. Monstrous creatures. There's actually a Greek and Roman mythology 101 book. Check and see if that's at your local library. We have The World of Lore, Monstrous Creatures by Aaron Monick. I really recommend picking that up. I'm going to give you lots of book recommendations for next week. And like I said, this is all that's going to be focused on for next week. The replays will be up on Thinkific. So if you come to the workshop, you will get a link to where the replay will be up already. Let's see, does anybody have questions so far? Because I've been giving you a lot of information. Leticia says, are there any modern retelling or modern commentary on mythology? I love Neil Gaiman and his fresh retelling of Norse myths. That's a very good question. There probably are. That's why I really like the Wood Nymph Seek Centaur one, because it puts mythological creatures in a modern setting. So like wood elves enjoy technology, and they would probably have this kind of job and this kind of thing. This is how they would interact with other people, things like that. And she gives her personal experience with people with these kind of creatures. As far as the tales go, that would be something I'd really recommend looking up at the library. The most modern you could probably get is to be looking at the kids section, like the teen fiction. A lot of the time they have retellings of it. There are cute retellings for children, so they have a Pandora's Box one for toddlers that I read to Lily. And it's really more of Pandora with a cake box, and you're not supposed to touch it. Don't touch it. And she touches it, and the cake gets everywhere, and it's not as bad as the actual story, but at the very end they explain everything that happens when Pandora opened the box. The Lords of the Underworld series by Gina Schwalter. I love it so much. So if you like your Greek mythos and enjoy Pandora's box, literally, a bunch of guardians of Zeus opened up the box, and as punishment they have to house the demons that were inside. I love it so much. If you if you don't mind sexy things in books, I really recommend it. What's another one? For the little kids, they also did an Icarus one that I really liked. They did a Hercules one and the Nemean boar. They have modern retellings of all kinds of different things. For people that are video game oriented like me, I mention almost every new Moon talk that if you play the game Smite, it's free on PC and on PlayStation. I'm not sure about Xbox, but you get to play as different gods. There are modern retellings of them. They give all the mythos in the character description. They just added Chernobog, but they have Cernunnos. They have my boy back here. They got Nox, Chang'e. They do Hindu gods, Celtic gods. They added the Morrigan. When we did Sir Ket for the activation circle, I used a picture of her from the game, things like that. So do some research and take a look around. But that's a wonderful question, Leticia. Kimberly, there's a great podcast called Myths and Legends. Yep, that too. That tells stories as they existed but explains them in modern language. That's very true. Kelly replying to Caitlin, I'll put it up when my son gets off the computer. It won't let me do it from my phone. Okay, cool. Catherine, I love mythology. Something from my childhood. It really is. Kimberly says, I love Aaron Menenke. He also does the Lore podcast, which is amazing and goes through urban legends and their historical origins. Yes. He's super, super good, especially if you really like the monster creatures. They're super fun. Caitlin says, I have the book in my Amazon cart. I love it. Looks like I need to start writing. Yes, you do, Kelly. Kelly's a writer here. It's wonderful. To see it sounds delish. Caitlin says, you can always read Percy Jackson for a modernized version-ish. Yeah, that too. That's why I was like, you can kind of read the teen books. Not too much like Harry Potter. You can kind of read a little bit for the mythos, but it doesn't do it very well. I haven't seen Fantastic Beasts, so I don't know how accurate that is. But a lot of it is off the top of J.K. Rowling's head anyway. So, but when it comes, I just want you to get a really nice basis for things. And I want you to sit down and figure out which people you actually want to see next week, okay? So Christina's going to be going live on both Monday and on Friday. She's going to be introducing everybody, talking about the raffle, things like that on Monday. And then she's going to go over the magic of unicorns on Friday. Kai is going to be doing, like I said, the Shadow of the Mermaid. So all about mermaids. I'll be going live Monday and Friday. Monday will be the palmistry workshop where I help you find your patron god or goddess. And the workbook for that is freaking 25 pages. So you need to grab that before I take it down and put it for sale somewhere because it's huge. And then on Friday will be the elemental spirit guide workshop. So if you want to figure out how to communicate with that, the people that are in the academy are already far ahead on that one. But I will still be giving some information that's new to you guys that will help you expedite your psychic process with them. Because my spirit guide is elemental still. She's still a mermaid and she still likes to swim on my ceiling. Marissa Lovitch is going to be talking about working with plant spirits and flower devas. She's absolutely wonderful. I love her so much. She did a wonderful series on food and spirituality, and she was talking about chocolate and just, I love it so much. So if you really are into being mindful about those kinds of things, especially with plant spirits and, you know, creatures of mythos that run amongst your plants, go see Marissa. She will be on Tuesday. Also on Tuesday, we have How to Welcome Water Fairies into Your Magical Practice with Susan. Susan's in this group. She's super awesome. She actually has also a Create Your Own Oracle deck thing on Etsy. I gotta find the link for that. But she's absolutely awesome. And I love that she's going over water fairies because people usually associate fairies with air. So it's wonderful that she's bringing in the different elemental fairies that can happen because it's like animals. I was explaining this to Lily last night, how there's a polar bear and a brown bear and a black bear, but there's also water fairies and fire fairies and earth fairies and things like that. There's all different kinds. Let's see. Let me scroll up. I don't know why this was going down. Oh my god. What happened? What happened to my thing? Scroll up. What is happening to things? Facebook went funky. I can't find my comments. Next week, woo, yes, summer magic. Can we get a link to the Coven group? Oh, okay, that's what you were answering. Okay. What's happening? I don't know what happened with... I'm gonna refresh that page. I don't know what happened to my comments. They disappeared. Oh, okay. Amanda says, I love the spirits of plants that I don't plant myself. I seem to kill everything I try to grow. Oh no. It's okay. We'll get your plants up and living again. Maybe that'll help. You'll be able to talk to the plant spirits and see if they can help bless your plant. I know I'm going to do that with my raspberries because they're surrounded by bugs. I don't know what's going on with them. To continue, yes, Wednesday, Victoria is going to be talking about Harness the Power of the Dragon to Reinvent Your Life. It's Victoria Kempton. She's wonderful. She's done readings for the Kardashians. She's pretty damn famous. She's wonderful. And she's a joy. She's in a psychic circle with me, and she's absolutely wonderful. I definitely recommend seeing her. Pamela Jones, who's also in this group. Pamela's awesome. She is doing Signs the Angels Are Around You. She likes to do a lot of angel work, and angels are spirits. They're just a different hierarchy. There's hierarchy among spirits. So she will be taking you through how to do that. Susie in this group, Susie Zern, she's going to be doing Frolicking Through the Forest with the God and the Goddess. So she's going to get you really down into that witchy earthiness that we always see for the new moon lives. And it's going to be wonderful. I'm excited for hers. On Thursday, Jennifer Paquin is going to be... Jennifer Paquin's going to be talking about confidently expressing your creative gifts with angels and mermaids. So if you have a practice that you want to start building into a business, she's going to help you figure out how to manifest your heart and soul desire through using mermaids and through using angels. Krista Foreigner is going to be doing that emotional vampire workshop I talked about, how empaths can deal with their relationships with emotional vampires. And it's wonderful. And that is really, really important for those that are feeling overwhelmed by being an empath, because they're so much more susceptible to energy vampires, even people that don't realize that they're doing it and people who do intentionally deal with it. I know that I've had a couple of energy vampires in my life, and I'm really looking forward to seeing Krista's work and how to effectively deal with that. She also has a couple workshops that are going to be following that up, so if you really want to work on your empath skills and on your blocking, I really recommend following up with her after the workshop. Okay, and then Lisa Van Galen in this group and in the Moon Sisters Circle, she's going to be doing dragons, allies from the etheric realm. So she's going to be talking about how dragons are really our allies, and I love dragons so much. So this is going to be very fun. So there's so many different things happening. The replays, like I said, will be up for a week. If you want to prepare for a specific workshop, I really recommend clicking the link in the pinned post, and it'll take you to where you can get notifications for every day. There's going to be a summary at the beginning of every day to let you know who's playing that day. It'll give you a link to the Facebook group where you can go ahead and watch them. Be sure to also, when you see the replay, everybody is going to be giving away something for free, whether it's an ebook, a workbook, things like that. There's some meditations that are going to be given away for free. Be sure to click on their links, grab the gifts, and join their mailing list. Stay in touch with these people, because we have so many wonderful people with spiritual gifts and amazing spiritual businesses at all different kinds of levels. So there's going to be something for you that you really enjoy. And this event is free. You can come see this, but it's also a matter of come, invest your time, and then see if this person is also fits your vibe enough that you want to invest with them. I know that I'll be giving some info away on my palmistry course when I do the palmistry one. So come see it if you want to do palmistry. I also really want to... I lost my train of thought. Yeah, just come and interact, okay? Because especially if it's somebody that you come and you participate and you comment and you ask questions, these are spiritual teachers and spiritual entrepreneurs that are going to be meeting with you one-on-one in the group. And you normally don't get a lot of talented people like this in the same spot. And doing an event like this for free, this could easily be ticketed, but it's not, and it's absolutely amazing. So definitely take advantage of this. Let's see. Kimberly says, Fantastic Beasts is awesome, but I personally treat it as total fiction. Yeah, it seems like total fiction. The closest thing I've done with that is making a niffler, like crocheting a niffler for somebody. Amanda says, I love this... Oh, we already did that one. Kimberly says, thanks, Caitlin. I know he pronounces it Main-Key, but there's also Jason Menke, so I get the spellings mixed up. That's cool. Kelly says, sprinkle cinnamon to get rid of the bugs. I'll try that. I'll try that. Because I want my raspberries to grow. Caitlin says, I'm so excited for all of these dying right now. It's going to be amazing. I'm so excited for all of it. And like I said, if you come and participate, there is a raffle as well. I don't want that to be your only reason for coming, but hey, it also gives you the opportunity to work with the workshops and the people that you enjoyed seeing and work with them even more if you participate and you actually work with them. So, does anybody have any last minute questions about what you need to prepare for next week, or using the elements or the planets and studying mythos and things like that? Anna says, well, absolutely try and come live whenever I can. Yeah, the time difference can make it a little hard. That's how come the replays are going to be up for a week for everybody. So don't stress. You can also message or shoot a comment on the thread and ask people, hey, can I message you to see when the replay will be up? If they will be posting the replay somewhere, it's completely up to the presenters. I know my two, they're going to be free for a week, and then after that I'm gonna lock them in the Academy vault. So only people that are in the Academy will be able to access it, except for maybe the palmistry one. There might be a different version of the palmistry one that'll go out. I've been talking a lot. Does anybody else have questions, though? Kelly says I'm going to have to try and check the schedule. I really want to participate in the palmistry one, but I work until 4 on Monday. When am I doing that? Yeah, I'm doing it Monday, 4 p.m. PST, 7 p.m. EST. That's okay. The replay shall be up, though. Lena says we'll make a list and see when I can catch the live due to time zone differences. Yeah, I know time zones are going to be hard for a lot of people in this group. But if you're genuinely interested and you're really heartfelt, like I said, and we respect each other's heart-centered space, and you believe in appreciating another person's value, there will be replays for you and you'll be able to work with it. If it's 7 p.m. East, I'm good. Yeah, it's Eastern time for you. For mine, Kelly, is 7 p.m. Eastern. It starts right at 7. Maybe a couple minutes beforehand, because you know me, I like to start a teensy bit early. Okay, also, I'm just going to give general information right now. So you'll still notice that the website is getting updates. It's getting more sparkly by the day. Lots of golden sparkles on the Corona Academy website. So all the blogs and info are going to be shifting. Don't freak out if you have a hard time finding something. Just post in the group and I'll happily give a link. I want to say thank you to everybody that has been subscribing to the YouTube channel, because we have over 100 subscribes now. And 100 people that want to learn the content, and I'm excited about that. I love it so much. Go ahead and cook, Catherine. Have an awesome day. And then, oh, now is the perfect time to get in on the Academy, by the way, because after January, the price is going to be going up with the palmistry course, because that's when the palmistry course comes out. So, just saying, if you want to hop in and you want to grab spots, I have very limited gold member spots left. I only have a couple left because I can only do so many coachings at a time. We have limited spots for the silver too, because there's limited spots in the Moon Sister. So if you want to grab it now, you need to message me and let me know before the price bumps up. Okay? That way you're locked in and you get the palmistry course and you don't have to worry about it. So, Heidi, do you mean July? No, I mean January. Yeah, the price will go up in January 2019 when the palmistry course comes out. We're going to be doing workshops and stuff beforehand, but I mean January. Yeah, this is a 13-module course. It's not going to be ready by July. You're good. Also, if you want to test and see about how coaching with me works, if you like my business page, you should be seeing an offer that I'm popping up right now. I know Heidi, me and her made our action plan together on how to improve her spiritual practice and get meditation going and work on her beliefs and build up her psychic power. We can do that for you. So be sure to shoot me a message. It's $57. And you get to meet with me and you get a month-long action plan on how to take control of your practice that fits your schedule. So, I have opportunities open if people want to work with me, okay? Don't let time and money be an excuse for you, because that's a whole spiel that I've already done. So, if that's it, I hope everybody has an awesome weekend. I'm gonna have cake and lunch. And probably go swimming this weekend and just enjoy the sunshine as much as I can enjoy the sunshine. I hate the sun. Amanda says her coaching sessions have helped me so much. I know, we get to have yours again next week too, Amanda. You and Jenny keep trading off. We meet on opposite weeks. So, I hope everybody has an amazing, amazing weekend. I love all of you. If you have any issues in the group, feel free to shoot me a message or tag me in something, and I will put on my mama bear hat and I will come in there and be the bad guy, okay? I hope everybody does awesome. Swimming with mermaids? Yes, I will be swimming with mermaids in Memorial Park. Awesome. Bye, guys!